Hello. See, I didn't even do the intro this time. You guys know every week it's a new flavor. Every week is a new flavor. Hi, my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and you're tuning in to the Business Plugs Mixer here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So come in, come in, come in. Go ahead and share it on your screen. Let us know you're here. Put your name in comments. Say hi to us. Our parents taught us it's never courteous when somebody says hello or good morning and you don't reply. So come in, come in, come in. Share it everywhere you can share it. And let's start this conversation today. Yay, today we're going to be talking about TEDx. Like, how many of you have wanted to do a TEDx? Like, you've seen the people standing on the red dot, and you're like, I have a story that's interesting and that people want to hear. You're going to want to lean in on this one. But before we get there, before we start that conversation, I want to tell you two things. I want to tell you that LSMB Business Solutions, my company, turned 9 years old on March the 4th. So we just had our ninth
Congratulations.
birthday.
Happy
Nine whole
birthday.
years in the huddle. And because of that, we are actually running business plan specials. So you get an automatic 10% off all of our business plans. That's whether it's the one page or the basic or the comprehensive, whichever one you need. And here's what I found in my 9 years of doing business plans, most businesses can get up to $250,000 with the basic plan. And if you're not ready for the funding right now, you just want to start the conversation and you need a calling card, the one page works well to actually gain interest into your business so you can start the conversation about doing business with an investor or a partner or bringing on staff. All of that. That one page is sufficient for that. The basic is sufficient for up to 250,000, and the comprehensive, if anything over that. They're all on sale right now for 10% off. The second thing I want to tell you about is on March the 14th. March the 14th. So if you want to know how to get grants, right? If you are interested in how do I get that grant money? How do I get to the grant money? Then I am doing another how to get grant session on March the 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I will put the link in the chat. But right now, I am going to welcome my guest. So, hello, Jerry Lynn. Hello,
Hey there,
Latanya.
Linda. Hi,
So, ladies, if you'll take your time and introduce yourselves to our viewers.
Malika. Okay, I guess I'll go first. I'm Geraldine B. Thomas. I am the founder of Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich. It's basically a LinkedIn co-marketing program which helps women really get excited about how to use LinkedIn to grow their female client base.
I love it. I
And
love
we're
it.
looking for more women who want to use LinkedIn like a boss to come join the program. Linda and Malika are a part of it as well.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, Malika, so tell us about who you are, honey, and your genius.
Yes, ma'am. I am Malika, as in I like a Malika, and I am the Chief Empathy Officer and Innovator at Momentology Media. Momentology is a concept, a framework that I created. It is the act and practice with an emphasis on the practice of operating in the now, succeeding with what you have right now in this moment. No more waiting, no more win, 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 win. No more WHEN. It's time to WIN.
I heard you. I love it. I love
Oh,
it. I love it. And so, ladies, tonight we're talking about TEDx. Like I in 2016, I actually did one on the
oh,
power of choice. And so shout out to Renee, Ronald Renee, who gave me my first opportunity to do a TEDx. And we talked about that. So now you're getting people together before the talk. And
Yes.
so you have an event coming up. So tell us about that event.
Yes, so the event sponsored by the lovely Geraldine Thomas through the Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich is an exclusive to Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich. Um, so Anybody who knows Geraldine knows that she is on top of it in terms of marketing and collaboration. And if you have a skill set, you have a gift, you have some genius, she is going to take it and put it out there. So one of the ways she decided to do that in this year is that, hey, all of you, and I mean us, all of us's that have all of these skill sets that we're sitting on, how about you put them out there for the world? And so that's what we're doing. We're going to put out a webinar, an interactive webinar on what happens before the TED Talk, right?
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So who ideally, who would benefit from this session?
Anyone who might have thought, I wish I could. That sounds so cool. That looks fantastic. If only if you ever put those 3 letters together, if only then I'm talking to you. This is for you. TEDx is about ideas worth sharing. Part of the challenge for most of us is that we don't think our ideas are worth sharing. So we're going to put I'm going to call BS on all of that. We won't go into it now, but during the session, I will talk about how we all have ideas worth sharing. And so if you have an idea, if you have a dream, you have a business, I don't care what it is, you can go on TED.com right now and look at the myriad of different topics. I'm talking marine biology, vulnerability, trauma, the pyramids, the great Egyptian, whatever you like. You like, there's somebody out there for you. Your people are out there. So
yes,
that's you.
I love it. I love it. And you're so right, because, before I did a TEDx, I thought, oh, that's for real smart people.
Look,
that's what I was thinking too.
You better cut it out.
And then I did when I was like, okay, maybe not.
But you know what? So you know what's funny about what you just said? You said, oh, that's for smart people. This is how we do, right? We downplay our abilities all the time. Oh, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not that enough, whatever the thing is, until somebody challenges us. Like, let somebody read us the wrong way. Oh, you got me all messed up. that. Why is it that we have to wait till we get offended to stand in our power? You should automatically, because you exist, therefore you are worthy, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the message that I want to, if you don't get any other message from tonight, is that you are worthy, and I am is a complete sentence.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So this is for that person that said, I wonder if I could do a TED Talk. Like, because we all have stories, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has a story of some sort. And, is it interesting enough? Is it something that you want to share with the world? I share, my power of choice was about having my son at 14. What was that like? Having a son, and then losing my mom.
What was that like? Yeah, that's definitely a story.
Exactly. Losing my mom at 9 on Christmas Day. To before the pandemic, there was the Hong Kong flu, the pandemic before this one, and not many people knew about it, but over 100,000 Americans died because of that pandemic, and my mother was one of those. And so, 5 years later, I became a mom myself, and how it was being raised by a man that was 50 years old, and you're a kid with a kid. So all that is craziness. Exactly. And so being able to talk and to share our story, that's how my book, that's how my business, that's how the whole thing got started. Like that was the shift in me recreating myself, is I was able to tell that story without crying for the first time.
And you know what? I love that you brought that up too, because Geraldine, can you talk a little bit about why you even came to me and said, this is something that I want to put out there for women in our group? Because Geraldine is the mastermind behind stuff. She's just like, she pulls stuff out of tears.
Baby, yes, ma'am. And humbly does it.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I had been seeing TEDx pop up all over, and I was thinking to myself, a lot of our ladies are looking for speaking engagements, but no one mentioned TEDx. So I figured, hey, Malika done it. She's a coach. Maybe she can show them the way and expand their options, their thinking. think TEDx stage, because I would love to see my ladies on TEDx
I
stage.
know it. I know it. And the thing about it is they are all over the world, not just the country. Like they're global. So
Right.
I
like
didn't even
how
realize that.
wonderful.
I'm learning. She's teaching me. So this is exciting to know that.
Hey, I tell you, it doesn't matter where you are. And we're talking to a global audience, by the way. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can apply to do a TEDx, but you want to do the front end work, which is what I didn't do. So it was a whole experience. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to tell my story. But
Mhm.
now you have coaches who can get you ready. And that really, 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 because if you listen to mine, you'll think, okay, yeah, I can see why she wasn't. I can see why she does what she did. She wasn't prepared. But the coaches do help you.
Mhm.
But if you could get prepped, if you could get prepped now,
Yeah.
how amazing that will be. How amazing.
And
Like
they do provide. So when you go to do a TED talk or a TEDx, that you get a coach, right? But the coach is specifically for your talk and getting it prepared. Now that's good, but if you have not fixed all up in here,
exactly.
right, and got your mind ready for what you're about to get into,
Exactly.
you won't get as much out of it. I'm not going to say it's not. It's an incredible experience. No matter, I don't
Absolutely.
care if you fell into it and you walk into, however you
Absolutely.
get to the red dot. If you got there, it will be an incredible experience. But you will get more out of the experience if you fertilize your spirit and your mind first before going into it.
Absolutely. And with that, like you could tell. So I did it with these amazing people. My opening act was the impressions, y'all. The impressions came on right before I went
Oh,
out.
okay.
And I said, from now on, you guys are my opening act. That's how we're gonna call it. That's what we're gonna call you. But they were talking about their amazing story, back from the Motown era to current. So it was really fascinating. But you
Oh,
meet some incredible people. But how wonderful if you're prepped and you're ready. Like when I talk about crying, right? When I tell that story, a lot of times tears well up, you know.
Mhm.
And but that was the first time I was able to tell my story and give it the honor and the power that it needed. And then imagine if I had you, Malika, coaching me along the
Girl,
way, honey.
you can do another
I
TED.
need to do another one. I do.
yes.
I do. I need to do another one. I need to redo.
Yeah, I mean, you need a do over. Wait, let me
Yeah.
do that one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because that's the thing. And you have so many business owners who have a story that they don't even know they have a story. Like how you started that business, and that could become your calling card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did a TEDx. Like people, I'm telling you, people still think it's smart people, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The smartest thing about the people that do a TEDx, I would say, is that they chose to step out and do a TEDx, right? It doesn't matter
Absolutely. That
where
takes grit.
it
Absolutely.
does. So I'll tell you in terms of my experience, when you stand on that stage and the light is right in your face
Oh
and you can
boy.
barely see the audience, I mean, it was such a moving experience. And it was both symbolic of being under the light, right?
Yeah.
But it also was like, you're bearing your soul. You're telling the thing that, especially you think about this. So I am a Toastmaster, right? I've been in Toastmasters for a while. I was a Toastmaster club president for 2 years before I started coaching. Um, there's such a difference. I was a Toastmaster contest.
Okay.
I won
Okay.
Toastmaster contest. I love getting on stage. Like
Absolutely.
one or 1,000, I'm fine. Girl, it's a whole nother story when you step on that red dot.
I know. And
I,
you know what? And so I did Toastmasters too, but I did a byproduct of them.
hmm.
Like our job had the
Oh, you
local.
have okay, like a chapter inside your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was on that committee for a few years and teaching people how, in fact, I got my first exempt job because they helped me to frame my story.
I am a big Toast to this day. I'm no longer as involved, but I love Toastmasters for the reason that it helps you to get over, especially for those of us that are afraid of standing out and speaking up. Right?
Absolutely.
It definitely it definitely helps you to get over some of that. And one of my biggest, like, the thing that lights me up the most is when I have someone who comes and visits the club and they kind of sit around the back and they're on the edge in the back chair. They don't say too much. And then if I can get them to do a table topic, and then if I can get them to actually stand up, and then to have someone enter a contest who never thought that they would speak, that lights my heart up. So
I know. And you see it. And the business plug, if you notice, my sign, my logo is the light bulb.
The light bulb.
And it's because when they are introduced to their uncultivated potential, there is like a light that goes off in their soul that radiates through their face, that you see it. I mean, and for somebody that doesn't think they have speaking ability to get in front of a group of strangers and just reveal their heart, then you get, here's how it normally happens. They come in and they're timid and I don't know, their confidence is low and whatever. And then by the end, they're like, "Oh, I'm speaking. They're taking over the club."
Yeah, and that's it. It's just,
I love it.
Letting people use their voice and setting an example for others that you can step into your whole self. And that's really what. So actually, doing a TED Talk is really more for you than it is for the audience, right? Because there's a growth that happens when you do that you probably wouldn't experience otherwise.
And when I did my TED Talk, actually, I was in a whole different zone. So I didn't know who was clapping, or I didn't know anything about the audience. I was just trying to get through those 13 minutes, right? So, because you have 13 minutes to tell your story. So I'm trying to get through those 13 minutes. I don't remember anything the audience did at all. I just remember the light being, and dark faces every now and then, and just trying to get through it without messing it up too bad. And so later I went back and looked at the tape and noticed how people were like, "Oh, I didn't hear any of that."
Right?
I didn't hear any of their emotion while I was talking.
Because
I was just trying to get through it.
Story is not for you. I know we think it is because we're holding on to it, but your story is for the person out there.
Absolutely.
Right? That will be transformed by the hearing of the word.
Absolutely.
It's just an incredible feeling. People came up to me afterwards. Like we had an after party somewhere. I don't even remember. After the TED Talk, I had people even after that TED Talk like message me on LinkedIn. "I was at your TED Talk." I was like, "Really?" Oh, like people asking me to be their coach. I went on to coach help another coordinator with her. Because like you said, these are all over the world, right? So the TED. So let me back up a little bit. So those of our audience that don't know, TED.com is the official TED, right? And then you see the Colin Powells and the big names on like the TED stage, and then TEDx are the independently organized speeches. So you'll have TEDx, San Diego, TEDx UCLA, TED, all over the place. So almost anyone who does the work and puts in the contract, I guess, for having a TED Talk can do a TED Talk. Anybody can be an organizer. As a matter of fact, my organizer was a previous TED Talk speaker who decided she wanted to organize her own. So she started.
Oh, cool. How cool is that?
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you literally anybody can be on the front end. You can be a speaker. You can be an organizer. There's so many different things you can do to put you in that sphere. But it's just if you watch the other speakers like going through their process, it's a growth moment. It's very transformational.
It is. And it's something that sticks with you, right? Because like I said, I did my TED Talk in 2016. And every now and then I get someone that fell into it, however they found it. And they'll email me and say, "Oh, I just watched, The Power of Choice, and you have convinced me I am going to do one." And I'm like, "Off that?"
Yeah, right.
They were almost convinced.
No, you never know what your voice and hearing
you don't
hearing someone else either going through what you're going through or doing what you wish you could do. Like sometimes you just that one more voice. Like, I'm a mom, and so we all know that our kids don't always listen to us, right? They'll go listen to
Absolutely.
so and so down the street, but you knocking your head against the wall. And my husband and I used to have this conversation because he would talk about my sons, and he's like, I told him to do blah blah blah, and he looked at me like I'm crazy. The coach telling him to do, he's like, Coach said do da. Boy, I've been telling you because it's coming from you, right? And so we get all offended by it. But listen, wherever the change is going to come, let it come. So therefore, you might not get it when it comes from over here, but then you hear it from this other person, and it just sinks in. It just sinks in. And so that's more, the message is more important than the messenger.
Absolutely. And the thing about it, and I love Geraldine for hearing the call, right? Because in the community, in the Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich, like there are women from all types of backgrounds. They're from everywhere in the world too. And so the opportunity for business owners to be able to tell, if nothing else, your story. How did you start your business? Like what is the process that you went through? Because none of us go through the same process.
No, and there's always a different reason for why you jumped in to the entrepreneurial, world out there.
Absolutely.
Like me, children gave birth to twins. That sparked it. Better find a way to make some money instead of paying the daycare. So yeah.
Yeah. And see, even in that, everybody has a story. Like imagine somebody just had twins and they're trying to figure it out. And then they hear your TED talk.
Yeah.
And then freedom. Yes. And then you get an email. I heard your TED talk and my life has changed.
Right.
Because that's how random it is though. But it feels like a purge when you do it. Like it feels like you've let go of something.
Ooh, just let it out. And the funny thing about that is you just mentioned, you said when you listen back to it. So first of all, I have, and a lot of speakers do, right? I don't like the sound of my own voice. I never have.
I hate it.
I can't. If I'm the one, I always have to give my stuff to someone else to do editing. Because if I'm the one, y'all ain't gonna have nothing. It's gonna be
sucked it all up.
I will cut it all up. I don't like the sound of my own voice, and every time I hear it, I was like, "Is that me?" Like it drives me crazy. But again, your message is not for you, right? So I gotta get past my own self, my own ego, and like, oh, I should sound like this, or I want to be like this. No, come as you are.
Absolutely.
And someone will resonate with that. I didn't listen. Y'all ready? I did not listen to the TED Talk that I did for almost a year. I never listened to it. People were like sending me messages. Oh, I loved your talk. This, that, and the other. I had some of those beautiful messages, and I appreciated every one of them. But I just could not bring myself to listen to it. I didn't listen to it. I didn't watch it for almost a year. So, I mean, we all have our things.
Exactly. And here's the thing, though. So I've gotten messages where people have said, "Okay, that was not your best work." Mm-hmm. And then I've gotten other messages that's exactly what I needed to go, So even in how it was presented, that drum will only beat for the people it is intended.
That's the one. That is the one. And my talk, because let me tell you, again, this is not a Toastmaster, nothing against Toastmasters, right? But this is not like a little challenge when you get up. This is an intense process, right? So I had, and the talks go from 7 to 18 minutes. So it depends on where you present, that sort of thing. So I had to memorize my talk, and I've seen people who do it with notes and without notes. And you, depending on who your coach is and depending on where you are, they might tell you something different. We were told no notes, right? The only thing we were told is to make sure that your presentation, that you can do it whether or not you had your presentation. You know why? Because stuff happens. So if something happens to your presentation or the lights go out and you just got the microphone by your hand, whatever it is, can you give that talk without without using your notes and using a presentation as a crutch? So those are some things that we need to think about when we're not just for TED Talk, for anything. Right. How well do you know your material? And do you know the salient points so that you can keep it moving? Because the audience doesn't know, right? They know what you're talking about. But those are the kind of things that you had to think about. And my daughter, sat with me all the time for months as I was rehearsing. So she knew my talk word for word. She was sitting in the front row, mouthing the talk as I was doing it. Guess what, y'all? Yeah, I got up there, the lights went on, and my entire talk jumped out of my head. I had said that talk, I don't know, 100 times.
I know.
I got on stage and it was gone.
Oh.
I know.
So
I
can't tell you how much of what was written was what was said.
exactly that.
Right? When I
that.
got off the stage, my coach, because of course he knew my thing word for word too, and he goes, "You said what God wanted you to say," and I was like, "Okay, buddy." Way to take the silver lining to that, right?
Exactly.
And my daughter, I had to turn away from her because she was surprised. She was like, "Wait, that's not what we were."
Mom's off script.
What is mommy doing right now, right? But you have to be able to go. You just have to be able to go and do. And like you said, it's transformational. Once you get up there, it teaches you so much about who you are.
It does.
And what you can do.
And it empowers you in a different way because the world is listening, right?
Yeah.
If the world is listening, again, it's recorded, and the people that are there, and then after you give it, like people running up to you, "Oh, I enjoyed it," or "Oh, this point you made," or "Oh, that was me," or "Oh, whatever." That was my first public speech on that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then to have it memorialized on the TED.com site is a whole nother that's a whole nother thing again, because I thought, in my little head, I'm thinking you have to be super smart to even do it. And then I'm just an average person, and to have that opportunity, again, shout out to TEDx Chattanooga for allowing me to be with amazing people to grace your stage. And it's all over the world. And the thing about it is, you can live in Chattanooga and you can apply to do one anywhere in the world. So you don't have to be in your specific city. If you don't see one in your city, if you go to TED.com, you can see where the ones that are coming up that are registered, and you can pitch.
And since the pandemic, obviously they've had virtual, and some of them are in person now, right? So here's the other thing about that. I did my TED Talk right before the pandemic. So what I had thought was, I was going to do this TED Talk, and it was going to be the speaker journey I was going to go off on, and then the world went down. I had multiple speaking engagements after that TED Talk, and no one knew how to do virtual yet. So everybody was like, "Well, I don't know what we should do. We're going to." So my speaking engagements went right.
Exactly.
I did this before the pandemic. I didn't do anything with the talk is sitting there. It's been sitting there since December 2019. That's when I did my TED Talk.
Wow.
I didn't do a whole lot with it, except for once it started coming back and people started reaching out to me, asking me for coaching. I'm happy to do that. I did that. But where Geraldine came in, and she was just like, "How you just sitting on this? You're a TED Talk speaker and a coach. And why don't I see that everywhere? Why don't I see Malika and TEDx coach everywhere?" And I was like,
Because it's definitely a need, because people want
there
that.
is a need, yes.
People want to be able, like, I wish there was a you.
It's a me
before I went to do mine, right? Because they do a great job in helping you to present it out there. But as far as the internal work and the getting the talk together, making it flow, and not crying while getting those spots that hit a nerve.
And here's the thing, and I appreciate what you're saying about keeping it together while you're up there, but I've seen very emotional TED Talks as well, and it is what it is. Whatever is meant to be in that moment is what is it supposed to be, right? I do appreciate, and now that I'm saying this out loud, Geraldine, I feel like there needs to be after the TED as well. We got a before the TED, because I didn't think about promotion. I didn't think about I didn't think about how to tell the story of what TED meant to me.
Well, that's our next one.
All right.
Exactly.
For the
Exactly.
summer.
And it
The
Do
wasn't
that
before
summer.
and the after.
the before and the after, because it's a process, right? You got to get yourself ready, then you do it, and then okay, now what?
Now what?
now,
It's,
now
it's,
that
it's
you've
like
done
people who write books, right?
it. Mhm.
Because everybody wants to write a book. I want to write my book. I want to write my book. And then you write it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
What's
Yeah.
next?
Because I love when people say, I want to put it on the bestsellers list. It's got to be on the New York bestsellers list. And we all, and those of us that know,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, yeah, go do that. But statistics show that only 500 books are sold by a
Mhm.
self-publisher
Right.
in his lifetime, right? And so how do you push past that? So it's just like that. It's just like this, when you do a TEDx, because Malika, I had no idea what to do next.
Right.
I was still petrified that I had been up there.
Right. Right.
And
Exactly.
so I didn't know what to do next. And I mean, every now and then I'll post it or I'll pull a segment out of it or something, but
All right. You heard it here. I feel like it's TEDx. What's next? I think that's the thing that's coming.
that's
Okay.
it.
That's it. that's gonna be
Teach us what to do with all these beautiful TEDx speeches.
Oh, and I mean, there's so much about. I mean, the one that we're doing coming up is, again, it's before the TED. But even if you talk about the nature of what you're doing in the TED Talk, and your coach will help you with this, but it's not a self promotion. It's not like, I want to use this to promote my business, and TED is like, nah,
No.
no, you can't do that.
This
So
is not that.
I had inside in my talk, I had I had something like, hi, I'm Malika Simmons and the CEO of Momentology Media, which is what you would normally do when you're presenting. Even if you're not selling from stage, you would still tell who you are, right?
Right.
We had to recraft that a little bit because we want to make sure that I didn't do anything that would get my talk on the cutting room floor. Because here's the thing, when they record it, you got one shot, right? They record it and they edit it. So if you send it in and TED disapproves it, what you gonna do? Now you've done a TED Talk that will never see the light of day.
That will never see the light of
So
day.
you have to make sure that what you say in the moment when you're doing your TED
Exactly.
Talk does not get you banned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the experience itself, it's fulfilling, and there's so many benefits from it. But to have it memorialized on the site, where for now on somebody can find your TED Talk,
right?
Like that's status symbol by itself.
Right.
That's powerful.
And you don't want to mess that up by saying the wrong thing and get in there recorded.
Promote my business.
And then you
No.
So you do not. So I repeat, do not think of TEDx as something to promote your business. You are promoting an idea, a journey, something you learn, something that you have to share with someone. And it may be that you found it in your business. So, for example, the Momentology method is the framework that I created. My company is Momentology Media. So yes, I absolutely talked about Momentology, but from a standpoint of what the idea was, how it came to me, and why it's important and benefit to you, not about the business and come, buy my coaching services or whatever. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Because here's the thing, if people resonate with your message, they will seek you out. Your contact info is there, right? They will seek you out. And that's what people did. People started reaching out to me via LinkedIn and sending me emails and all sorts of things. So they will reach out if you do the work in spreading the idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is such a good thing. I mean, because to go and hear all the various stories, like even the people that I did the talk with, amazing ideas. So it was even though I was presenting, I enjoyed, we had the youngest one, I think she was like 14 or something, and talked about her ideas. Like there's just amazing people that you meet doing one. It's like being with the A-list, I had people that Dr. Swafford, she is the executive director of Chattanooga Girls Leadership Academy, an all-girl, one of the first all-girl schools here. And she gave her TED Talk when I did.
Mhm.
and other, I mean, a news this newsman that was a world journalist for CBS or something, and talked about all the different, how he takes photography and how he's been in the trenches and his whole career, his experiences. I mean, you actually learned something. There was one person that did something with origami, where they make the little store.
Origami, when they
Yeah,
make
origami,
the
yes.
Yeah, there was somebody that did a whole story while
That's
she was doing this. And at the end, she gave me one of them that she had used in the presentation. But I mean, just amazing people with amazing stories, and then you become a part of them.
yeah,
Like you, how great is that?
yeah. That is one of the best things. I'm hearing the echo. One of the best things I found about it is listening to the stories and being in the room, like you said, with other people's stories as well. And
Yeah,
then because we had to practice over and over and over again, and then we had to do our dry runs and our rehearsals and everything, like it is definitely a community,
it
that you
is.
form with other people who have done TED Talks. And I mean, I know people now have done 2, 3, and 4 of them.
Wow.
And so just the fact it's just the fact that you're it's like a brain trust, right? You're in a sphere of people who are thinkers, who are thinking about the world in different ways, and it just expands your mind and opens the aperture for you on what is possible in the world.
Absolutely. I do agree.
You hear
I
about
do
so
agree.
many things, right? Yeah.
I do agree. But yeah, and so it's worth it. And so again, how can they get tickets to the event that's going to help them to get to next level?
Well, they have to get involved with Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich in order to,
Mm.
in order to go, because it's exclusively for women that are in the LinkedIn co-marketing program. And they
Ah,
can find out about that by going to smartwomenpartner.com.
I love it. I love it. So smartwomenpartner.com, go
Yes.
there and be a part of the community. And it's one of the
Then they get
benefits,
an invite.
it's one of the benefits of being in the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'll do a teaser, right? We're gonna do a teaser on what we'll talk about. Let me see
So
if I
let me
let me move it over. All right. So the thing that we're going to talk about is when you're on that stage, when you're doing your TED Talk, these are things that you want to keep in mind. What do you want the audience to know? Right? What do you want your audience to feel? And then what do you want your audience to do? So these are the things that you want to think about as you're doing your talk. Before you even get on this stage, you should know these very important 3 things. What you want your audience to know, what you want them to feel, and then what you want them to do. I believe wholeheartedly that everything in life is created 3 times. First in the head, then in the heart, and lastly, you can hold it in your hand. So if you can do that, if you can have your audience walk away with, oh, I learned something, I know something a little bit about something I never knew. I'm feeling something. I'm resonating with that message in a way. And now I can go and do what? What is the thing that you want them to do? If you keep that in mind, you can take the screen down. Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's good information.
We're going to give, and this is not just for TED, y'all. This is for speaking in general. Know your audience. Here's the thing. Usually in speaking, they say know your audience, which is a good thing to do, right?
Right.
You don't know who's going to watch this TED Talk. It's literally shown around the world. So you have to speak from a way that will resonate. There's some piece of messaging, some idea that you have, that there are pieces of it that no matter who you are, if you're sitting in Des Moines, Iowa, if you're sitting in Naples, Florida, it resonates with you. If you're in South Africa, oh, I get it. That's what you want for your audience.
And that's what I said about the drum, right? The sound of the drum. So everybody won't get it, but the people who it is intended for, as long
Absolutely.
as you are authentic and as long as you put it out there, they will. It's like finding your people.
Yep. It is. It is. Your vibe finds your tribe. And that's exactly what
Absolutely.
happens. That's exactly what happens.
Absolutely. Good stuff. I love this. I love this. So, if you would like to be a part of the Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich, then go to smartwomenpartner.com and complete the information that it instructs you to do there. Then you'll get the invitation to come join in, and Malika's going to show us how to do the before work before we go to our next TED Talk. I'm sitting here thinking, I probably need to try that one more time. Look, one more time with coaching. So that rare.
And I'll give you, for those that are sitting on the fence, like I really don't know what to talk about, I'll give you a quick example. I had someone come to me and she's like, she's a coach and she wants to speak and she does speak. And she's like, I don't really know. I don't have a signature message. I don't have the thing. Well, she loves sunglasses. I mean, when I say love, she's got 30, 40 pair of designer glasses, right? And so just in talking to her about what she loves, who she is, we came up with Behind the Shades. And so Behind the Shades is she started her talk with her shades on, and she even did a social series where she would have a topic for every pair of shades that she had. And so it was easy for her to speak about because that's who she was anyway.
That's who she is. Yeah.
And then the messaging was behind the shade. Let's get behind that and talk about it. So every one of us has something like that we don't think of. We have a joy or a genius or something that we're already putting out in the world that other people see that we don't. So I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And that's
story. I promise you.
I know. And that's the thing is like pushing forward in 2022, like COVID came and it took us all surprised. Like who remembers 2020? Like it was a wash.
Right.
Okay? And then 2021, we were trying to regain our bearings and it came back with a Delta variant, which,
yeah,
that whole thing. Right. And then now we're in 2022. We're getting ready to get our bearings and we want to do something about being and having an experience, but not just having an experience, but also having an impact. Like now is the time to really, really have impact and to deliver your package. I truly believe we all come to the world with a package or something to present to the world to make it better. And this is one method we can use to tell our story, to bring that package to the world.
Right.
I'm going to put this out there. I think Jerry Lynn needs to apply to one. I'm just saying. So,
listen.
He took a deep breath.
Like, oh Lord, don't do that to me. There are so many people who are introverts that have done TED Talks, Geraldine.
Absolutely.
So.
All right.
I would love to see her. She's got plenty of stories,
yes.
and if she does nothing to say, but say, okay, let's hop on a or
the Google Meet. Geraldine.
Google Meet.
The Google Meet. You ask her one question, she's like, get on the Google Meet. We're gonna fix this right now.
Yes.
The people she meets on the Google Meets. That's a whole story about it.
How to keep it moving with the Google Meet.
With the Google Meet. How to get the
Google Meet is fabulous. It really is.
Exactly. If she just tells that story.
She is solving the world's problems one Google Meet at a
time.
One
Google Meet at a time because she will not leave you out there confused.
No,
she's like, well, wait a minute. You got an issue? How about
let's do it real fast. It's easy peasy. Mm-hmm. And then we can go about our business.
Exactly.
5 minutes in and out.
I love her for that. I love her for that. I see her doing that to people. Well, let's just hop on Google Meet. and their problem is resolved.
Why waste time?
Every single time.
And that is also the power of the Smart Woman Partner and Grow Rich, because the partnerships that happen both like organically and virally, you're getting out there and telling stories and helping each other. And I love it from my perspective because I'm an advocate of not competing and creating. Right? So don't compete, create. There is something for you. What's for you is for you. And through the Smart Women Partner and Grow Rich, we're all able to lean into the thing that makes us us. in a non-competitive way. It's like, okay,
Absolutely.
collaborate. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
You
fun.
do this, you do this. Geraldine is like, let's all together.
she's the
Yeah.
traffic director, right? She's
There you
making
go.
sure all the ends are. You need to talk to this person, and you need to talk to this person, and so she's the traffic director that keeps us all sane. But our hashtag is collaboration is queen,
That's
and
right.
so
That's right.
and that's how we roll.
Yes.
That's exactly how we roll. So yeah, so ladies, we've been on now and told them everything that we know to tell them. What leaving comments would you like to have them to remember?
Mm, I guess that LinkedIn is a place to be if you're looking for serious women to do business with and to partner with. And that when reaching out to people on LinkedIn, reach out to partner first, then you can sell, but sell in a way that's kind of, I don't know, softly. Don't
I
just,
know.
jump in there like that big old French kiss, I guess you could say, that nobody
Exactly.
wanted.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yes.
That's
Ew.
when people reach out to me, and then the first thing is not to get to know me, but and hey, here's my offer. I feel like
But
they
you
have
don't know if I
taken me.
want your offer. I might
They're
not.
taking me straight to the chapel, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't even dated.
Right.
You're talking about marrying me, and,
Thank you.
and we haven't even dated. I'm like, okay, buy me a meal. I mean,
Something, right? Like how do you know when people are your people? And so I always say, I greet everybody. I say, hey, world changer, because I believe we all are world changers, right? Even if you don't recognize yourself as one, if you are a servant leading woman, because that's my people, right? If you are a servant leading woman and there's something you want to be, do, or have, then you're my people, because you're striving, you're out there making a difference. And so I would just leave you all with this. You don't have to want to do a TEDx, right? To join this webinar coming up. You want to do something different in the world, you're going to have to speak up. And so if there's power, speak life, right? There's a reason why it's called speaking life. You speak life over the things that you want to do, and this will help you to do that.
I love it. I love it. So, ladies, if you'll hold on, I'm going to close us out. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug. I just plugged you into how you can get into before the talk so you can get ready for your TEDx. You guys, I will see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Next Sunday, we're talking about business credit, how to fix your personal and business credit reports. Elijah's coming to see us, guys, and you're going to want to be here. So until next week, you all have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great one.